Welcome to the Real Agents of Change interview series, where we love to acknowledge and just offer up meeting people who are real agents of change. And Rhonda Benson is certainly one of the people that aligns with our mission of doing big things in the world. Rhonda, share with our viewers a little bit about you and what makes you a real agent of change.
Okay, well, my name is Rhonda Smith Benson, and I'm a realtor here in San Fernando Valley, California. I have to say, when I heard about the Real Agents of Change, it got me really, really excited because I do as much as I can for charitable organizations, but it never seems like enough to me because you only have so much time and so much money. And this has given me an opportunity to really kind of roll everything I do into like one, or add it to a skill set maybe, but just roll everything into one. So I have the opportunity now to help all of the nonprofits that I'd like to, and help my clients who really are wanting to donate proceeds from real estate to benefit their favorite charities.
You know, it was people like you, Rhonda, that were calling us forward a couple of years ago when this came to light for me. And I thought, there are other real estate professionals out there who have time, talent, and treasure, but there's only so much to go around in the traditional sense. And with this, we're making money, making a difference, and we can help all those causes in our community. So you mentioned a little bit about where you're at out in California. Who are typical people that you like to work with? Who's a client that you'd like to get in touch with more?
I'm working with more sellers every day, which is exciting. So that's really my main focus. Obviously, I have have a lot of buyers that my team and I are working with. So don't walk away from those, but mostly sellers.
Are you more of a investor kind of gal, or luxury, or waterfront? Does anything speak to you?
Two things, actually. I do work with a lot of investors. I'm an investor myself, so I own several multifamily properties, so that really is a niche that I enjoy, but predominantly Los Angeles, California, so Los Angeles County, California. My niche is probably that mid-range luxury, if that makes sense. So anything from I focus on anything from 900 to 100,000 to 2 million.
Awesome. So I know that you want to help everyone, as far as the nonprofits go. And the beauty of what we're doing is you can help hundreds, thousands right there in your county alone. Are there any like battered women shelters, or animals, or veterans? Is there something that speaks directly to you?
There are a couple of organizations or nonprofits that I like to work with. One, it just so happens to be a shelter for abused women and children. Haven't been doing as much with them during COVID, but though that is one of my favorites. I also personally am involved with a charity called the Trevor Project from a donation aspect. And that one is very dear to me as well. It basically is for at-risk youths.
What is it about that one? Do you have a story with that? Something happened to you?
Yeah, I do. I have a son that during COVID, I found out after, was actually reaching out to them quite a bit, just because he was having some internal struggles that I wasn't 100% aware of, and so I kind of I thank them for what they've done for him.
My daughter was actually going through a cutting phase when she was about 14 that I was completely oblivious to. We think we know our kids. We think we know what their struggles are and what they're going through. And I had no idea. By the time it came to my attention, she had cuts all up and down her arms. So, not to make this a heavy interview, but I just want to share that there's so many struggles and so many nonprofits that we all should be so grateful for. We don't even know all the things that they're doing to help the people around us. But thanks for mentioning that one. So Rhonda, tell us something about you, just to lighten it up a little bit, about you that is not about your work or where you're from, something fun that we might not know about you.
Okay. Well, I am an avid scuba diver. I actually was an instructor for several years. I guess that's the biggest thing, and I get probably the biggest thing I've ever done, the most exciting thing I've ever done in the water is actually been diving with whale sharks in Honduras, which was pretty amazing. If you don't know,
That
like the whale shark is like the size of a bus, basically.
I was just watching the Big Blue or something, one of the documentaries about that, about whale sharks. When they're pregnant, they have 300 babies inside of there.
Is that crazy?
Crazy. Big animal. Well, is there anything else that you want to share with our viewers before we bring it to a close? Because I know you're a multifaceted, very interesting lady, and I want to make sure that people get to know you and have even more of a reason to reach out. Any final thoughts?
Well, thank you. I really want to talk to as many people about real agents of change as possible, because the more I talk about, for instance, the Trevor Project, and the more I get to meet people in that sphere, or other parents in that sphere, I'm learning so much about, like, you don't know who you know, for one, and you don't know what they're going through, or how I might be able to help them, achieve some of their goals, whether it's just in, helping out an organization, or just listening, to what their plans are. So I guess to that end, I want to meet everybody.
Yeah, you do. And with you being an investor yourself, I'd love to hear just a comment you might have about the fact that charitable gifting of real estate helps the donor to avoid capital gains tax.
Yes.
Because I'm not in this buying and selling of real estate every day like I was when I was a listing agent, I'm kind of out of that conversation. What's going on with capital gains that our people need to know that this helps them to avoid?
Well, basically, anytime you buy a property that you've had for a certain amount of time, there is that thing called capital gains tax, and I won't go and get into the weeds with it, but it could take a considerable chunk out of the proceeds that you would get for selling your property, whether it's an investment property or your home. One of the things that donating the proceeds from a property is that you don't have to pay those capital gains taxes, which is nice, because really, I mean, as much as we want to support our country and our society by paying taxes, I think most of us would like to limit that as much as we possibly can. But if anybody wants to have a one-on-one conversation about capital gains taxes, I'm happy to go into the weeds about that.
And I'll bet you know a lot about the 1031 tax exchange too.
Absolutely. Being able to, trade a property of like kind is what they call it, to I guess, again, to avoid paying, a certain type of tax on the property that you buy, the next property. So again, I can get really nerdy into that. So I'm happy to talk to anybody about those two topics when we have a lot more time.
Well, we're going to have your contact information in the description of this video. So friends, real agents of change are realtors and financial professionals and nonprofits and fundraisers, and just all of us who know real estate is hot, fundraising's not. As much as we want to fundraise for our nonprofits, when we can shift our focus to just funding them. The average donation from a piece of real estate is $550,000 from one donor in one whack. And this is happening all over the country, has been for over 100 years. And now that the real agents of change know about it, and people like Rhonda, we are spreading the word here and far. So thank you for watching this episode. Reach out to Rhonda if you have any questions about capital gains tax, 1031 tax exchanges, and or have a need for a realtor in the Los Angeles County area. Thanks for being here. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.